Today we're doing something a little different. We're gonna make creamed kale. And it's very much like steakhouse side dish energy, which I personally really enjoy. We're gonna make some toasty buttery breadcrumbs to go on top. So here we go. This is 2 bundles of lacinato kale. You might also see it called Tuscan kale or dinosaur kale, but I have just destemmed it, washed it really well, and torn it into little kind of bite-sized pieces like that. Heating my pot over like a medium-low heat, a little bit of olive oil to get things started. We're gonna start to cook down all of this kale. So this just goes right in. Plenty of salt and pepper. And I'm adding about 3/4 of a cup of chicken stock. I'm gonna cover these up and let all that kale start to cook down. All right, let's see how things are progressing. It's been going for maybe 10 minutes or so. I'm gonna take the lid off and start to evaporate some of this liquid here in the bottom, and then we'll add a whole bunch of good stuff. Alrighty, most of our liquid has evaporated. So let's cream up this kale, shall we? First, 2 cloves of garlic that I've minced up. And this is about 3 ounces of cream cheese, 1/4 cup of heavy cream, and some shredded Monterey Jack cheese. You could also use mozzarella if you'd like. Zhuzh this together. I'm gonna cover this again to let that cream cheese melt. And let's make the breadcrumbs. I'm gonna melt big tablespoon of butter, olive oil. In goes some panko breadcrumbs, like 3/4 of a cup or so, and some salt and pepper. You can jazz these up any which way if you want to. More garlic or other spices, but mainly just wanted something crunchy and buttery on top. Toast these over low heat for a few minutes, and that's it. All right, kale is looking great. Are you a Carrie, a Charlotte, a Miranda, or a Samantha? Alrighty, kale is looking great. I'm gonna finish this off with a whole bunch of grated fresh Parmigiano Reggiano. What's not to love about that? I'm gonna pile this high onto a little serving plate. Okay. Toasty breadcrumbs on top. A little more fresh parm, obviously. I adore this recipe. It does make a pretty small quantity, and that's for a couple reasons. First, not everybody likes kale, and in the context of Thanksgiving, where we have a bunch of other side dishes, might not be everyone's thing. Second is that it's pretty rich. You probably just want like a little piece on your plate, but if you have a whole bunch of kale heads in your family, by all means, double this recipe, triple it. Bite with some breadcrumbs and some cheese. So good. Salty, creamy, cheesy. The crunch from the breadcrumbs really makes it. If you wanted to make this in advance, even just prepping your kale a day or 2 ahead would save you a ton of time. You can also make the recipe the entire way through, put it in the refrigerator, and then you'll want to reheat it in a saucepan with maybe a little bit of extra cream or milk, and top it with the breadcrumbs and more parm when you serve it. I would recommend prepping your kale in advance and just making everything else the day of. If you want to switch it up, cream kale, give it a try.